Buhay Online, chikahan at kalamang pangkabuhayan. Ating tunghayan, pakinggan at tuklasin ang mga pangyayari at kaganapan sa mundo ng online. Buhay Online, chikahan at kalamang pangkabuhayan. Alamin ang pinaka-latest trends mula sa trabaho at kung hanggang saan na ang narating ng teknolohiyang ito. At ngayon, narito na ang ating host, ang ating TechieMommy, si J.C. Bautista. Ang ating TechieMommy, si J.C. Bautista.
Thank you. Good morning. Sorry, I was just fixing my cell phone. Volume hindi ko nababa. Good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome sa Buhay Online. Thank you sa mga nakatutok today. Of course, hindi ko na naman nakikita yung pangalan. But good morning. Welcome to the show po. And this week, we're on the subject of distance learning or ang online learning dito sa Pilipinas, of course, and all over the world, which is, of course, because of the pandemic situation, it has pushed the education system to go online. Nung nangyari yan last year, of course, a lot of people knew, hindi lang naman sa Pilipinas, that the world was not prepared for online education. I mean, Japan na supposedly mas advanced yan sa atin, but hindi sila talaga nagtigil ng face-to-face learning even to this day, and the whole pandemic situation, kasi nga marami yan sa Japan na wala namang internet, yung mga prefecture doon ay mga parang probinsya, wala sila internet, tsaka hindi rin nga sila prepared yung curriculum na linagay online. But it's something that was inevitable because that's the new normal for the school year, okay? The school year 2021, it was education in the time of coronavirus, right? Tingnan niyo itong mga pictures here with me. Yan, the COVID-19 pandemic has changed education forever. Yes, totoo. Because like that, all over the world, right? The kids, especially yung mga nag-lockdown na countries, ang mga bata ay confined to the home, at saka yun na nga nagkaroon ng responsibility, an added responsibility, yung mga magulang para i-supervise or ipastol yung mga anak nila to make sure that they were studying online. But that became such a difficult situation for working moms as well, because hindi mo naman pwedeng tutukan nga yung anak mo 24/7 to find out kung nag-aaral ba siya o nag-Netflix or nag-video games, right? And look at the situation here. Look at yung mga sa Pilipinas, yan, mga pictures sa taas ko, yung mga magulang, lalo na kung ang daming anak, nag-aaral sabay-sabay, yan sila. There's like different ways of studying na hindi face-to-face, no? Of course, one is online, which is studying through the internet. And of course, there's the modules. Ito yung mga modules. So, dinidistribute, see? This photo shows a teacher handing out modules to parents as distance education is implemented ng school year last year, 2020 to 2021. Modules meaning may handouts, right? Yan talaga, yung magulang ang involved dyan because yung bata nag-aaral through those hard copies ng lessons, right? Pero hindi sila pupunta ng eskwela, so sa bahay sila nag-aaral. And of course, there's the internet. And hindi naman lahat may computer, but look at this home, right? Maraming anak. So every corner ng bahay. See? And if kunyari may computer din, right? Kunyari may internet, ang hirap schedule ng mga anak ng pag-aaral nila because kunyari isa lang ang computer, right? How are they going to do that and share time? So all those things were considered, actually were a lot of people were not prepared to do that. Tsaka yung kung saan sila mag-aaral, kung maliit yung bahay, tingnan mo ito, dikit-dikit yung mga bata, turuan ng nanay, ilan ang anak lahat nag-aaral. And that is really the situation and the scenario we had and it's still prevailing now. Yung pag-aaral, right? Sometime in mid-June, okay, last year, okay, I'll share the stories tungkol dito sa pag-online education or distance learning. Okay? Itong may storya dito na na-feature sa ABS-CBN News, right? Na isang pamilya, right? Actually, they were interviewed on TV, pero ginawa itong story. Yung, kunyari, itong si Arwin Flores was contacted by one of his children's teachers, no? Asking kung i-enroll yung anak nila ng school year na yan last year. Maraming story ang ganyan. In fact, like I said yesterday, 3 million students did not enroll last year of school year 20 to 2021. Because nga, unang-una, that time hindi pa sigurado or hindi pa certain or down pat yung mga curriculum ng online. At the same time, na nga, hindi lahat ng tao may facilities para mag-aral online. So maraming hindi nag-enroll. At the same time, yung iba naman dinowngrade, inilipat yung mga anak nila muna sa public school. Dahil yun na nga, yung mahal na tuition, parang hindi mo malaman kung anong klaseng yung quality ng education na ma-receive ng anak mo. And true enough, like I was saying, that happened to my son, he had to sit out one semester because he didn't feel that online education was going to be enough. And true enough naman talaga, that time, bago pa lang yung pag-online, testing ground pa lang ng Ateneo yun. And really, I can say talaga, it wasn't effective at all. Dahil unang-una, yung teachers, wala naman doon. Once a week, they saw a teacher in the I think that was a 3 week to a month and a half intercession course. That was like a summer course ng Ateneo last year. Pero yun, nagreklama yung mga bata kasi wala naman yung teacher doon. Bigyan kayo ng 200 pages to read a day. Parang na lang yan, parang honor system kung basahin mo o hindi. But yun pa, hindi nag-check ng attendance. So, I think that brought down yung mga disadvantages na sinasabi even ng ibang countries, right? It brought about indolence or feeling of being lazy sa mga nag-aaral, tsaka nawalan ng masyadong interest or yung motivation because wala nga sila sa classroom or wala sa campus, lalo na mga university students, right? And like I said nga, sabi na anak ko, Mom, I never dreamed of having a college education in my bedroom. Totoo naman yun. Nagkaroon talaga yun ng psychological effect sa maraming mga bata. Hindi lang sa mga estudyante, yung pandemic na yan na pagla-lockdown actually caused a lot of psychological and mental strain to some people, right? So ito yung kinikwento ko, yung si Arvin Flores, kinontak siya ng school, tinatanong nga kung mag-enroll ng anak. Flores lives in Navotas City's barangay, Navotas West. Was instructed by the teachers to get the enrollment forms in panahon na yan from their village hall. Tapos he took photos of the forms and sent it to the teachers through Facebook Messenger. Itong technology nag-work ngayon, no? Naging interactive, naging virtual yung pag-enroll last year. So, through Facebook Messenger, in-honor naman yung mga ganun application forms. They could encode the data and register the children for the school year. That was one of the ways kung paano kinary out yung remote enrollment last year. So that learners, parents, and teachers no longer have to go out of their homes, reducing the risk of getting coronavirus. So yung ginawa, at saka yung nauso rin yung QR codes, right? So, swipe mo na lang. The pandemic has prompted the DepEd to postpone in-person classes until a vaccine, sabi kasi last year ni Duterte, ibabalik daw niya yung eskwela pagka may vaccine na. Pero anyway, may vaccine na ngayon, pero di ba yung kwento ko kahapon, binawi niya yung sinabi niya kasi hindi pa rin niya binubuksan yung mga eskwela. But anyway, so last year nga, until the vaccine COVID-19 is available, sabi yun ng DepEd, and they implemented an unprecedented distance learning plan that has been met with skepticism naman talaga by several groups and lawmakers. Marami naman talagang hindi pabor na gawing ganun kasi nga hindi pa na-test ng masyado, tsaka hindi prepared sa mga school materials. Flores said yung mga tatlong anak niya, who was gonna be grades 10, 6, and 3, pag nag-umpisa ng public school noong August last year, they will be studying at home through printed modules provided by the school. Ito yung picture na nandito sa akin, right? Yan, yung pinakita ko kanina, yung modules yung hinahandout para sa mga magulang, right? That's the modular way of studying, na hindi face-to-face, right? Kaya lang, itong si Alvin Flores expressed his doubts that his children could effectively learn their lessons at home by themselves. So, yun na nga talaga. Nagkaroon talaga ng malaking responsibilidad yung mga magulang na mag-aral din with their children. Ang question doon is, paano kung hindi capable yung magulang ituro yung material because hindi siya nakapag-aral, right? Sabi nga nitong si Arvin Flores that he may not be able to guide them since he juggles his work as a fisherman sa Bautista tsaka aircon technician. His wife, meanwhile, wala. OFW ang asawa nitong si Arvin, nasa Saudi Arabia. So, sabi nila hindi 100% ang interest ng bata sa pag-aaral. Okay? Sabi pa nitong si Arvin Flores na the children have difficulty focusing on their studies. Totoo naman yan. Whether yung nag-aaral sa module, like sa picture na to, or even yung mga nasa bahay nila na may internet, may wifi, they have difficulty focusing on their studies. Kasi nga, they'd rather play yung mga mas maliliit na bata na nag-homeschool or nag-study sa bahay. Kung nakita nila yung mga mukhang mga game, pwede silang mag-games, pero yun na nga ang doon. Dapat kasi yung mga materials prepare, which is, it's been a year already. Medyo mas ayos na ngayon kesa compared to last year because yun na, yung anak ko, university student, yung materials nila hindi pa ayos. Doon sa mga bata kasi, you have to make it more interactive. Siyempre, yung materials nila. Hindi lahat ng teachers, of course, are good with PowerPoint or making presentations or making those animated school materials. So, everything had to be prepared. Everything had to be made. Pero to follow na lang yung ganong klaseng materials because bigla tayong na-push to go online. Kasi like yung sinabi ko kahapon, when Duterte declared na sort of a lockdown March 14 ba yun? Biglang March 22, nag-lockdown na yung buong country. Nasama na yung pag-aaral. Pati yung mga graduation na affect, diba? Like I said na yung anak ko, January lang pumasok sa Ateneo. 1 month lang yung buong semester na yon. Tapos, nagkaroon sila ng no-fail policy. Pinasa yung mga lahat ng estudyante, even if they didn't study the whole time and they didn't learn and missed those subjects. I don't think that was right that they did that, diba? Hindi fair or dapat din refund nila yung tuition, okay? Which we never really got, okay? So, the focus of the children or the students are affected, okay? Because they'd rather play, they'd rather watch Netflix, sometimes they'd rather listen to Spotify, right? Ang hirap talaga. So, itong mga kagaya ni Alvin Flores, right? Na ang mga anak, madaming maliliit ang mga anak niya hindi sila makafocus. Kagaya nito may picture din pinakikita na yung anak niya plays around while her sister Angelina figures out how to use a smartphone at their house sa Navotas. Yun nga, yung maliliit na bata, kung wala yung tatay or nanay para magturo, paano na lang sila mag-aaral, right? Saka, at that time, especially for children like that and for all, dun sa mga medyo areas na medyo indigent, right? Yung mga bata, hindi mo maano yung attention nila. Sasabihin mo, they don't go out of the house, they can't play. It's very difficult. It was a very difficult time for everyone. Okay? Itong si Mr. Flores na mangingisda at aircon technician, lahat ng anak niya may cellphone. Okay? So, he did that because they are using it for their studies and to communicate with teachers. Pero yun na nga, ang technology may limitations. Kasi, like sabi ni Mr. Flores, na yung asawa niya OFW, all of sa mga bata, mahirap kasi sila makahabol sa turo ng teacher kung sa cellphone. Kagaya ng isa ko, mahirap pa po siyang magbasa. Hindi siya ganang sanay magbasa. And that's why. And then, like I said, what if the parent also, hindi siya adequate para magturo sa anak niya? Despite the challenges, itong si Mr. Flores chose to enroll his kids so they won't be idle for the entire school year. Kasi nga, worse din talaga. Kung hindi mo in-enroll yung mga anak mo, ano naman gagawin din nila sa bahay? Maglaro na maglaro. Para wag masayang yung panahon, right? So, what Mr. Flores did, because he lives with his 4 children, okay? Nakita ko sa inyo yung setup ng bahay ni Mr. Flores. Okay, hold on. Let me just show you. Okay? Ang situation sa bahay ni Mr. Arvin Flores ng Navotas with 4 kids all studying. Okay? Hold on a second. Bear with me, please. Ayan, okay. Dali lang ay ano ko lang. Okay. Here you go. I'm gonna get it. So, si Mr. Arvin Flores na isang mangingisda at aircon technician sa Navotas. Siya in-interview ng ABS-CBN tungkol sa distance learning, right? And talaga namang very true to life ang kanyang circumstance because that's what happened there. Yan, yan ang bahay ni Mr. Flores. And he has 4 kids. And they're all doing modular learning. Cellphone learning. Ang hirap naman mag-aral ng, lalo na yung mga bata, maliliit pa. Tapos, yung teacher, hindi nila masyado maintindihan yung turo niyo sa cellphone. Especially kung mahina ang inyong connection. So, that's the situation there for Mr. Arvin Flores of Navotas. Arwin pala, sorry. So, he lives with 4 children, 3 of school age, at a coastal community in Navotas City. Okay? So, Navotas has started conducting simulations of its distance learning setup, where schools will deliver activity sheets and school supplies to students' houses with the help of teachers and barangay officials. Yan nga yung pinakita ko, di ba? Yan, dinidistribute nila yung mga modules, alright? Sa mga magulang, sa mga bahay. There you go. See? Yan ang situation nung hindi mga nag-online na learning. Yan yung modular, right? Okay. Tapos, the Education Department has said it planned to tap retired teachers, education graduates, and other volunteers to call and visit students in their homes from time to time to check on the learner's progress. Yan ang nagbabahay-bahay yung mga iba, yung mga volunteers para i-check nga. Kasi kung yung magulang hindi naman kayang turuan yung mga anak nila or tulungan, that was a good way to monitor the children's education. The DepEd also planned to train parents and guardians who will supervise children's studies at home. I don't know if that happened, but siguro barangay to barangay. I wish I could invite a parent here to talk about that. Siguro, I will find a resource parent na mag-guest natin para i-interview kung anong situation or experience nila with homeschooling. Alright? Biglang nagkaroon ng homeschooling. Similar to Flores is another story. Itong si Merly Villasanta, a single parent from Antipolo City, also takes on 2 jobs to raise her 4 kids who are all attending school this year. Pareho pala kami nito, single parent. Right? Villasanta's eldest is was an incoming grade 12 student who enrolled in a private school. Thanks to the Senior High School Voucher Program, a government financial assistance scheme. Uy, ba't di ko alam to ah? Meron palang ganun. The rest who will be in grades 10, 9, and 5 when school starts were registered in public schools. So yung panganay niya, in-enroll niya sa private school. Ito siya. Okay. Si Miss Villasanta. Alright. Here she is. Okay. Ayan ang setup niya sa bahay. Alright. There she is. Okay. Okay, si Miss Villasanta, single parent Meli Villasanta, works on the enrollment forms for her 4 children using a computer with internet connection. Okay, Santipolo. All 4 of her children will be using different gadgets to satisfy the requirements of distance learning. The respective schools will be implementing. Diba? Mabuti nga kung nakaka-afford ka talagang bila ng cellphone, ng laptop, ang mga anak mo kagaya niya, 4 nag-aaral, lahat iba-ibang gadget gamit. Kasi nga, hindi sila pwedeng mag-share because minsan sabay ang kanilang klase, right? So you're left, you have no recourse but to get them separate gadgets, right? The eldest ni Miss Villasanta, na meron siyang second-hand laptop, is attending school through online learning, while the younger ones are learning via printed modules. Yan nga yung pinakita natin kanina. Villasanta works as an administrative personnel at a public school in neighboring Marikina City, where she is paid around 17,000 per month. Mandatory deductions and loans leave her with a measly 1,500, leading her to engage in an online business. What? From 17,000 to 1,500, ano nangyari? Mga bills niya at mga loans na binabayaran, natitira sa kanya 1,500, okay? And so, she has a sideline online business. Sabi niya, she was struggling din. Talagang hinahati ko yung oras. She set up her jobs. Well, of course, truth be told, I'm in the same way. I mean, I've been freelancing and doing my own business and own work for more than 15 years. Juggling also work, multitasking, doing many jobs at the same time. And ganyan talaga ho. And thank God for technology, I was able to do that. And I am able to do such kind of working environment. Ako nga, halos 24/7 because I'm online most part of the day. 24 hours na talaga ako online. Yan. Hindi na bago yung nagmumultitask. Hindi na bago yung maraming trabaho. Hindi lang isang trabaho. Because that's one of the ways talaga we can fend at pwede tayong mabuhay sa panahon na to, right? So, ganyan talaga. So, yan. So, itong single parent na Miss Felisanta, okay? Cheers to us. But anyway, so yun. So, pinapagkasya niya yun. Tsaka yun nga, nagkaroon siya ng online business, online as an extra income, right? Itong si Miss Villasanta is saving to convert a small part of her 2-floor home where she lives with other relatives into a learning space. Tamo? Very entrepreneurial itong si Miss Villasanta, which she said would be important to keep her kids focused on their studies. Talaga naman kasi, like itong mga ibang pictures na pinakita ko, diba? Siksikan, paano sila mag-aaral. Wala silang corner ng bahay na pwedeng magkaroon ng privacy. So siya, yung kanyang 2-bedroom, 2-floor na bahay, yun, ko-convert niya isa na learning center para sa mga anak niya. Very good idea. Yung anak ko yung nag-aaral sa kwarto niya. So, kapag may budget daw, kasi may space naman dito na bakante, kaso pang kanila lang, paano yung iba pa? She said, referring to her nieces and nephews who also live with her pala. Oh my goodness. Another struggle that Villasanta shared is the lack of stable internet connection. Ayan ang problema, which we talked about yesterday. Why is the internet slow in our country? Di ba sinabi na natin kasi, dahil ang speeds natin on dati 25 Mbps ang na-achieve. Ngayon, mga 50 na. Pero, yung pa rin tayo, kulela tayo sa other countries compared to connectivity, right? Villasanta relies on data for internet access, which costs her around 500 pesos a month. Okay? The cost, she said, goes up when she uses video communication services like Google Meet and Zoom para sa trabaho. Talaga naman, kapag umulan, mahina rin yung signal, sabi niya. Villasanta said she doubts with distance learning, although she acknowledges how education officials and workers like herself are working hard to prepare for the next school years to come. Pero she works in the school system. She's also doubtful regarding distance learning. Kung sa school, marami pa rin hindi nagsaseryoso na pag-aaral, what more sa online learning or nasa bahay. Totoo naman yun. Dahil yung mga nagbubulakbol na nga pumapasok sa eskwela, ano pa yung hindi ka nakikita ng teacher, hindi ka nakikita ng magulang mo, nakakulong ka sa kwarto, hindi mo na alam kung anong klaseng aral ginagawa ng anak mo. Kasi nga, hindi mo naman pwede bantayan 24 hours, right? Especially if you're a working mother or a working parent, right? So, yan ang mga sa pitfalls. Pardon me, I was just drink. While distance education has been around in the country for years, it's an entirely new concept for many people, which is why it has been met with skepticism. Marami naman talagang nagtaas ng kilay or nag-doubt that it will work. Si Melinda Dalaria, Chancellor of the University of the Philippines, said na sila yung mga they've been trying to fix curriculums, try to help teachers, try to find ways to educate and train also yung mga old school teachers na hindi naman sila tech savvy, right? Sabi niya, this is something new and somehow it's something you don't know much about. Siyempre, nandun lagi yung skepticism, sabi ni Bandelaria, who leads an institution that offers open and distance education, ang UP. Okay? Sabi ni Bandelaria, there's also a perception that distance education is of lower quality than face-to-face learning. Sinabi natin yan kahapon, di ba? Merong ganyang mindset. Hello there! Welcome to our friends who are watching, but I can't see your names. Thank you for joining me today. If you're abroad, here and abroad, hello to you. Kasi nakikita ko lang yung pangalan nyo after the broadcast, which I try to answer by typing my answer to you. Hindi ko kayo ma-shout out kasi hindi ko makita yung pangalan. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. So going back to what I was saying, right? Sabi ni Miss Melinda Bandelaria ng UP, Open University, yun, ang UP open doon sa open and distance education. There's also a perception na lower quality daw. Ang distance education daw is of lower quality than face-to-face learning. Kasi sabi niya, people would equate the quality of education to the teacher and students being in the same classroom. For many, yun yung measure nila ng quality. Pero in a way, I sort of agree to that because my own son is the example. Yung kanilang mga reklamo na yung walang interaction, walang masyadong collaboration or coordination with the teacher because nga wala yung teacher. Sometimes it's a recorded video that they have to watch for hours at saka nakikita mo lang yung teacher sa isang linggo, isang araw, isang beses, or not at all. The educator also stressed that the community has a shared responsibility to ensure the continued learning of students. The community could provide resources to ensure na yung mga bata tuloy-tuloy yung pag-aaral. That children will have a conducive learning space, that they can have access to the technology. Pero yun na nga, hindi lahat merong internet, hindi lahat may cellphone din. That's why nga may modules. Pero even in the modules side of the type of learning, meron din mga problema and it boils down nga, as I said before, to the study habits or yung attitude ng anak niyo or ng mga estudyante towards going to school. Kasi I really believe nasa sa tao yan, whether you're going to the physical school or nag-aaral ka from home, kung wala ka talaga interest or that kind of to study, that study habit or study ethics, it's not gonna work well for you, right? But also, I also agree naman na meron din talagang effect na yung hindi ka pumapasok sa totoong eskwela, right? That also affects it. And yeah, that may lead to to the student getting bored or disinterested or hindi focused sa klase kasi nga nasa bahay ka lang, pwede kang mahiga-higa, pwede kang kumain, pwede kang matulog, ipa-play mo na lang yung video ng teacher or yeah, like in Ateneo, they're not required to be on camera habang nagkaklase. So the student could be doing anything, right? Kaya ngayon nga, from time to time, tatawagin ng teacher yung attention, right? Para malaman kung nandudumpa o natutulog. Hindi mo maiwasan na may natutulog din, right? Because those are the pitfalls, right? Sabi ni Ms. Bandelaria, ang kailangan lang natin maging aware tayo anong modo ng distance education ang pwede sa context na ito. Halimbawa, ang estudyanteng ito o lugar na ito. Kaya nga, kung anong pwede sa kanila doon, modular ba or radio ba or TV education or internet sa bahay, okay? We don't have any choice but to be ready, sabi niya. We use the time that we have to be ready and prepare for the opening of classes patuloy. Aside from online platforms, as well as printed and digital modules, DepEd made the use of television and radio to deliver lessons to students at home, especially those in mga malalayong lugar, okay? Sinabi ni President Duterte in his report sa Congress na ang DepEd is procuring internet connection for some 7,000 public schools, which is supposed to be completed. I'm not sure, sabihin ko bukas kung nagawa ba to. This was kasi last year when he said that. I think nagkaroon na nga ng internet sa ibang schools, but I don't know kung 7,000 schools na nga yan. I'll research today and tell you about it tomorrow, okay? So yeah, so that's my take or my few cents worth on news that I gathered regarding education, the new normal itong atin sa Pilipinas for education in this coronavirus situation. Sabi naman, okay, sabi naman ng okay, like we said, it has changed the look or the look and feel of education, not only in the Philippines, but in the whole world. Okay? So let's talk about distance learning. Ayan na nga. Because of the sinasabi natin yung nawawala ng focus sa mga estudyante, or nagkakaroon ng magiging tamad, or nagiging disinterested, ito, meron ang Rappler, okay, they put out an article last March and the title says, ito yan, okay? Taga, labas na natin itong si Miss, tanggalin ko muna to ha. Oops, sorry. Mamaya sarili ko na naman maalis ko. Alright, here, okay? Look at this news. DepEd probes academic dishonesty. Ayan, pandadaya habang nag-online learning or distance learning. Well, yeah, it can happen kasi nga, lalo na yung mga nag-aaral online. Napakadaling mag-Google, napakadaling mag-Google ng any answer to a question at the same time. Even if they're doing group projects and stuff, they can also cheat online because they can just messenger each other the answers or whatever. So, yeah, DepEd probes academic dishonesty in distance learning. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin? Cheating, right? Sorry. Ayan, see? Yung mga nag-aaral. Alright, look at this. Sa gitna, okay. Sige, so, yeah, kasi nga, there were cases, okay? I'm sure a lot wherein the students were cheating. Sabi nila ni Undersecretary of Education Diosdado San Antonio, simula't simula ay binigyan na natin ng diin na hindi ito pwedeng gamitin dahil ito ay hindi makakatulong sa pagtuturo ng honesty. Well, the Department of Education or DepEd is continuously probing reports of academic dishonesty or cheating in the implementation of distance learning system. In a laging handa press briefing aired on state-run PTV4 last March 5, Education and Undersecretary Diosdado San Antonio said that cheating, even in remote learning setup, should not be tolerated. Eh, dapat naman kasi nag-aaral ka eh. Eskwela nga, yung cheating is cheating, whether it's online or face-to-face, right? Yun naman po ay pinapatingnan natin sa ating mga kasama at magpapavalidate tayo sa mga ulat. Simula't simula ay binigyan natin ng diin na hindi ito pwedeng gamitin dahil ito ay hindi makakatulong sa pagtuturo ng honesty. Sabi ni Diosdado San Antonio, right? Undersecretary. Okay? Meron pang translation. Our colleagues are checking and validating these reports. From the very start, we stress that this is not allowed because it won't help in teaching honesty to our students. Okay, San Antonio said that DepEd is also looking into reports of teachers giving and selling answers to the exercises in learning modules. Kadiri, di ba? Pinagkakitaan pa. See, which is but I can believe it happens. I'm so sure, di ba? Na, di ba, uso naman kahit ng araw pa yung pagbabribe sa teacher para ipasa ka. Ano pa kaya itong ginawa ng negosyo, maniningil na sila para ituro o ibigay i-advance yung mga answers, right? Hindi po talaga ito pinapayagan at ang mapapatunayan po syempre sa mga kapwa guro natin na nagbenta, okay, ng mga sagot at mga lessons at mga exercises na may at siya mismo ang gumawa ng sagot. Sila po ay dadaan sa proseso ng administrative cases. Okay? So, yan nga, San Antonio of DepEd is also looking into reports of teachers na selling answers to the exercises ng mga modules. Masama yun. Pero talaga, where there's smoke, there's fire. So, I'm so sure people are doing that. Okay, so remote learning at academic dishonesty sa gitna ng pandemya, yun nga, malamang it's really happening, right? So, diba, whether it's online, diba, or modular, or by radio, or by TV, dapat, diba, hindi pa rin mag-cheating pag nag-aaral because cheating is cheating, like I said. Now, so now distance learning has become the new normal for Philippine education because, diba, longest lockdown na nga tayo, tsaka talaga namang hindi nagbukas ng eskwela kahit na sinabi ni Duterte last year na ibubukas ko na yung face-to-face studying pag nagkaroon na ng vaccine. Eh, yun na nga, may vaccine na tayo pero hindi pa rin tayo nagbukas nitong nakaraang school year. August, diba? August na nagbukas. Kasi, madami pa rin ang surge ng virus or infections, okay? Traditional education systems around the world became one of the early casualties ng COVID-19. Talaga naman, itong deeply affected. Yan. With the risk of the transmission among high school students, sinut down ng ating presidente ang mga eskwela, okay? Because he was, like in other countries like Japan, diba, they mostly take care of the economy. Yan ang mas center nila. Kaya hindi sila nag-strict lockdowns ever. Pero ngayon, dami na nila infections. Tayo, nag-strict lockdown na tayo. ECQ na forever. Pero hindi pa rin bumababa yung number of infections. What are we doing wrong? We don't know. Tapos yun na nga, sinara yung school. Never na nag-open isang taon na along the line. Kasi last year, President Duterte suspended classes in Metro Manila starting ng March 11 to 14 due to the threat of the virus. Tapos, iba-iba pang suspensions in-announce sa different parts of the country na apektuhan yung mga commencement exercises or mga graduation, di ba? Final exams ng mga bata. Yung college level naman, last year, most higher education institutions in the country decided to end the semester early, ayun na nga, at tapos pinagraduate, pinagraduate, yung iba, tapos several universities and colleges adopted the no-fail policy in consideration of the situation, but I think, like I said, that's not good, right? Tapos, except yung mga mag-graduate, binigyan ng extra work, pero yung mga undergrad, pinasa na lang, without them learning anything. Hindi yun tama. Ayaw nilang ibalik siguro yung refund, so pinasan na lang. Kasi as early as April last year, yung DepEd started crafting yung basic education learning continuity plan. Pero hindi naging masyadong effective kasi nga hindi pa ready at the time, right? Tapos nga, doon niya in-announce na ni Duterte last year, mga April, that he will reopen the schools at when the when vaccine is available in the country. Well, we've been doing vaccinations now for a few months, for 3 months. Alam ko yan kasi 3 months na nga ako nandito sa Pampanga, I think. March, April, May. Yeah, it's almost 3 months. Well, 2 months na nandyan yung vaccine because my sisters in Manila are all vaccinated na, even their kids, right? So, even if the vaccine is already here, binawi ng presidente yun, okay? The schools did not open, all right, yet, and they have not opened. So, kinarify naman yun ng DepEd by saying that the president was only referring to face-to-face classes. Its plan, it said, was to implement distance learning modalities that would enable students to continue with their education in the safety of their homes. Yun na nga. Blended learning, then, is something that we are looking at, right? Which is a combination of online studying, face-to-face, modular, or even radio and TV lessons, okay? Okay, so that's about online education. In line with this naman, na ang ating mga anak ay na-expose ngayon online mas maraming oras because they're studying online. I wanna touch on this subject that's connected to this, no? Ang online sexual abuse of children is rising amid COVID-19. Alam niyo ba yan? Because of online. Yung mga batang nagbebenta ng mga pictures dyan or yung nakikipag-chat ng mga child predator, mga child molesters, or yung mga kung ano-ano. You know, Save the Children Philippines, okay, has raised a concern that more children are at risk from online sexual abuse and exploitation amid this COVID-19 pandemic as families resort to easy money due to deepening poverty, okay? While children are still not allowed to leave their homes, okay? So, this is another subject matter that we can talk about, okay? Pag matapos natin yung tungkol sa online education today or tomorrow, we will proceed to talk about, how being online has affected our children in other ways other than just studying, okay? At yun na nga, yan. The rising concern over online sexual abuse of children in this pandemic, okay? We will talk about that maybe tomorrow. Tapusin lang natin to online education, okay? So, I wish to bring somebody over to talk about the experience of being a parent in this pandemic while the children are studying from home. That would be a good topic to talk about, right? Okay. So, of course, the academy, they're trying very hard to still try to fix all these things and make the materials better. Okay. More than 9 million students kasi in both private and public schools had enrolled online for school year 2021 as nung nag-end ang June last year. Kasi the resumption of K-12 classes was scheduled for August 24 last year. The DepEd reserved the entire month of June for registration pero nag-extend yun sa July. Nag-enroll, na-late ang pag-umpisa ng eskwela last year, right? The turnout of 9 million surpassed the expectations ng Education Secretary Briones, okay? Presumably kasi because DepEd was aware of the technological, the financial, and other differences among the millions of Filipino families with school-age children. Tama, pati yung DepEd nagulat sila na bubuksan na kaagad yung online education. Presumably, right, Secretary Burns expected many of them to forego their enrollment, which happened. 3 million did not enroll because they were, unang-una, yung iba, walang facilities to do online education. Walang pera. Pangalawa, hindi sila sigurado yung mga magulang kung anong klaseng education ang makukuha ng anak nila. Kasi nga, testing grounds pa right? So Secretary Bjornes expected many of them to forego the enrollment during the COVID-19 public health emergency. Some 5 children, actually 3 million plus, did not enroll. Okay? Sabi ni Bishop Roberto Malyari, who's the chairman of the Episcopal Commission on Catechesis and Catholic Education of the Catholic Bishops Conference of the Philippines, he pointed out that during an interview in May last year, many families were not prepared financially and technologically for online learning. Alam na nga natin talaga yan. Talaga namang hindi. Ill-prepared. And because nga, iba, walang means, right? Some can't afford the computers or even smartphones needed, or to subscribe to Wi-Fi providers and master the use of the technology. All the technology involved within a short 2 months. Talaga namang namadali lahat ng namadali kaagad Kaya naging half-baked. In my book, hindi pa talaga handa. That, kami nga ni Miss Faith and ni RD, we have this company wherein we are helping schools transition to online. We are helping companies to put their businesses online. We have a training program for that po. Ang Media Whiteboard Communication Inc. has a training program to do that and develop. So sa mga nangangailangan ng tulong, mga eskwela, mga teachers, mga companies na kailangan ng training to how to transition from face-to-face or actual teaching or training to online, we can help. Okay? Message nyo lang po kami sa aking personal messenger, Bautista, or sa Media Whiteboard sa Facebook. Pwede kayo mag-iwan ng message doon and we will try to help you as much as we can. Okay? So going back to sa sinabi ni Bishop Roberto Malyari, some can't afford the computers nga or even the smartphones needed or subscribe to the Wi-Fi providers and master the use of technology involved within a short 2 months. As some news reports have noted, some teachers are similarly unprepared. A lot, I think, especially the old school ones. Either because they don't have the devices needed and can't afford them, and are also technologically challenged as their students. Talaga naman, maraming ganun, lalo yung mga senior na, like my dad, God rest his soul, I kept trying to give him gadgets because ako, TechieMommy, di ba? Yung son ko nga, bato pa lang may cellphone na. So I tried to give my dad cellphones, laptop, so that he can use it, mag-crossword puzzle siya sa hindi. Old school talaga yung daddy ko. To his dying day, nagko-crossword siya ng physical crossword puzzle. Ayaw niya yung mga binigay kong tablet. Ayaw niya. Okay? Hindi niya talaga, ayaw niya tutunin. Kasi meron talaga, nasasalag yun the willingness, hindi pwedeng sabihin, hindi ko alam. Or ayaw alamin, right? Yun Good morning, Delia Tenoria Balmores. I finally see your name. All the way from Dublin, Ireland. Okay, one of our good supporters here at Buhay Online. Good morning, Delia. What time is it in Ireland? Let me see. Is that 6 hours behind? Right? 5 o'clock ng umaga. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5 ng umaga. Gising ka na, Delia? Is it 6 hours also like Paris and London? 6 hours behind? But good morning to you. Thank you so much. Kung ganun ang oras at nagtumutok ka dito sa aming show, maraming salamat. Sobrang effort mo pala naman to be here because it's so early. But anyway, thank you, Delia. It's nice to see you. And thank you. We're talking about online education, okay? So, going back to what Bishop Roberto Malyari was saying, right? as students are anxious and skeptical about online studying or studying from home, yun nga kasi pati mga magulang at mga teachers, sila rin na stress, right? Because, 7 hours ahead ang Ireland sa Philippines. Oh, so it's ahead. So it's actually almost 7 o'clock there in the evening. Right? Ay, hindi pala. Sorry. Bayan naman. Yeah. Yeah, tama. 7 hours ahead. Kami ang 7 hours ahead. Tama. Balik sa Europe eh. Ang Philippines ang 7 hours ahead. So, 4 o'clock pa rin ng umaga dyan. Anyway, so yeah. So I was going back to what I was saying. There's also the problem of connectivity. Of course, paulit-ulit tayo, talaga naman. Despite the Department of Information and Communication Technology's pledge to make Wi-Fi available throughout the country, so hindi naman, the connections are still either too weak or non-existent for kilometers and cross rivers. Kailangan ka magtulay ng bundok o magtawid ng dagat, right? Tama ako, 5 a.m. Right? Because I have relatives in Europe And 6 hours, well, daylight saving ba? Walang daylight saving. So 7 hours. So ang aga-aga, thank you, Delia. Thank you so much. It's so sweet of you naman to go online sa ganito ka-aga. But thank you for joining me, okay? So yun, yung mga remote areas na hindi na naaabot ng signals or walang cell site, paano yun, right? The economic and class divide of Philippine society has long been a fundamental issue in Philippine education. Students from rich families based in the cities and some highly urbanized municipalities have more access to usually private and expensive schools, while those from poor families are plagued by a lack of classrooms and teachers and almost inaccessible public schools with limited resources that teachers themselves are often forced to provide. Talaga, nakarinig ako ng mga storya yan na yung mga teacher naawa sa mga estudyante nila, minsan sila nang bumibili bibigay ng calculator para gamitin or, kasi nga, hindi talaga equipped. Lalo na for yung face-to-face education nga, may kakulangan, palalo yung hindi, right? But it seems that even the former have not yet really benefited as much as expected from their privileged status. A 2018 study by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, ang OECD, it's a program for international student assessment, PISA, tested a representative population of 15-year-old Filipino students and found them last in reading comprehension. Ay, kaluoy naman. Among 79 countries, ano nangyari sa atin, no? Last na tayo sa reading comprehension. Nag-deteriorate ang ating educational system or ang pagtuturo or ang literacy natin. Ano ba yan nangyari? The students surveyed in a country that claims 98% literacy, 98% literacy daw tayo, hardly fared any better in science and mathematics either. They were a poor second to the last at 78th place. Oh my gosh, second to the last tayo sa math and science. Tapos sa reading, sinasabi natin, 98% literacy. Wala. We were last in comprehension and reading. That's so sad. Right? Iba na talaga kasi talaga Even the English speaking in this country has deteriorated. Like, of course, growing up as a child, I grew up speaking English from the house. But I know that before, mas maraming marunong mag-English sa Pilipinas. Nag-deteriorate na rin kasi. Ano na rin kasi yan yung texting era, nakakabobo yung mga mag-jejemon text. Diba? Talaga, my son, when I raised my son, I never baby talked my son. That's why my son started speaking at 1 year old and he started reading at 3. Depende rin kasi yan, no? At the same time, syempre, sa kapasidad talaga ng anak mo. Pero, yung talaga, yung pag-abbreviate, yung pag-hegemon text and all those things, nakakabobo. Nakaka-apekto yan pag nasusulat ka ng email, pag ina-abbreviate, iniiksi mo yung mga words. My son nga, pag mag-text yan, even when he was a child, my son already had a cell phone at 7 years old. Magte-text yan buong sentence. Diretso. Hindi yan nag-abbreviate. Because it's really, I always tell him, anak, that's judgment thing. Really. I hate it when people talk to me or text me like that. Di ba? Nakakaloka yun kasi. Kamusta po kayo? Bakit kailangan mo dagdagan ng W yung po? Di ba? Hindi naman yun pag-shortcut, hinahabaan mo nga. Kamusta po kayo? Yung po, madam. Forget about the judgment. But anyway, so yeah. See what happened to us? Nag-deteriorate. It has been argued that the PISA findings are the results of the fact that those tested mostly came from public schools and therefore do not provide any indication of the alleged superiority of private institutions. But they nevertheless confirm the reality of the perennial crisis of Philippine education evident in the quality of its products. Talaga. Many Filipinos can't really read or even do simple arithmetic. Science is alien territory for the superstitious many, and mathematics as much a despised subject. Anyway, patuloy nating pag-uusapan ng education, online education, distance learning. Bukas pa. Kasi our show has reached this end again, okay? Ang bilis talaga ng panahon. Sabi nga namin, no? Sabi nila, time flies when you're having fun. And of course, I definitely always have fun talking to you guys, giving you information in my own way, trying to help, okay? But ayan, pinag-usapan natin tong distance learning, right? Thank you so much, Delia. Thank you so much, the Lakab family, for your support, all right? So we will continue these issues about online education and the pros and cons of and the year in retrospect, we can review it, okay? You too, have your breakfast, Delia, okay? Your cup of coffee or tea or your juice, okay? Enjoy your day, Delia. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. Very good. So, patuloy po natin pag-usapan ang distance learning or ang online learning or distance learning per se, kasi hindi lang online learning pinapag-usapan natin ito. Distance learning per se, which of course entails modular studies, studying via radio or TV, and of course, online, on the internet. This has been Jay Bautista, okay, broadcasting through Broadstreamcast Communicators. Maraming salamat po sa pagtutok nyo today. Nag-usapan natin yung, yan, nakikita nyo sa pictures na yan, how the COVID-19 has actually changed our way of studying. Not just in the Philippines, but in the whole world, right? Ayan, meron pang mga pandadayang nangyayari. Totoo naman yan. It really happens because it's easier for them to do so, right? Hindi ka naman nakikita. So thank you so much for joining me. And see you again tomorrow. Same time, same place, same platform, all right? And of course, for those who miss our episodes and broadcasts, you may view past episodes on YouTube kasi nasa YouTube. May YouTube channel na ang Broadstreamcast Communicators. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, everyone. Enjoy your meals. And of course, please, always keep the faith, hope, and love in your hearts for everyone and mankind. Saka always tayong hopeful that there's going to be a better day every day when we wake up. Maraming salamat. And see you again tomorrow. And have a good day, everyone. Have a good evening sa mga taga-America. Good afternoon pa lang doon. And all over the world, my relatives too. And I love my Bautista family that I miss so much. Okay, see you once this blows over. Makapasyal sa Manila or kayo magpasyal sa Pampanga. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. And see you again tomorrow.
Inyong natunghayan at napakinggan ang mga makabagong pamamaraan sa mundo ng online sa pamamagitan pa rin ng Broadstreamcast Communicators. Hanggang sa muli, maraming salamat po.